at it here at the Soboba Casino for the 2016 SCSDA season opener. We have so here we are, second round of Pro Gambler. We got done with the first round of the Pro Gambler. I went and got the phone charged up so I could do a little more live tonight. We're getting very, very close to the curfew here at Soboba, so we're going to try to get it in. We just had a couple exhibition passes. Marcus Norris came out and went 247 at 153 miles an hour with the field car, top field car, on his test run there. Then Jake Morton in the Morton racing car, he just made a hit, went down, made a car launched really nice, hiked the front end way up in the air down Chet and slammed her down towards the end there. Looks like he's okay, whatnot. Car's, I don't know, car probably is okay. They were the #1 qualifier in alcohol this weekend, so I see they're down at the end of the track looking for something in the track. I don't know what exactly, but they pulled the first pair of the Pro Gambler around and cut them off to check out something in the track. Starting up again, so I'm going to jump on the PA also here and go around it. Okay, everybody, round 2 of the Pro Gambler. Down to 16 now here in this category. We're going to have Justin Adamson over there in the far lane, the Jeep, out of Norco. Up against Brady Mentenberg, all the way in extra time. He goes 4:37 to move on to the next round. Catherine went 3:94. She's been in the 80s most of the day, so the win light goes to Dan Beard. I see we have some late night viewers here on the NSDN live video stream. We had an interesting last qualifying session for the heads up classes. Not many shakeups at all in the order. Pretty much the biggest change was in top eliminator. Only taking 8 cars this weekend for the show. Zach Wagner was on the buck going into the last session. At 3:15, Mark Puños was out. He bumped into the show with a 3:05 in that last session. And then Zach was the last car. Zach and Mark Whitmore both had to go quicker than 3:05. Zach went a 13 and Mark went a 31. So Zach Wagner and Mark Whitmore were the DNQs for TE. And yeah, this is definitely the late night live feed here, and you are correct on that one. And I'm getting pretty tired, so this could get interesting. But yeah, not a whole lot of change in that last session. Robert Skidmore came out to try to back up his earlier 266 run. He went 281. Looked like it was a really nice pass. Just not sure they missed on the tune-up just a little or what. So yeah, we are in round 2 of the Pro Gambler. About halfway through the round here. There were 32 to start with, is what I was told. So we're down to round of 16 here. Motorcycle Pro Gambler, they already ran first round. They're into round 2 next. Yeah, Pro Gambler is in round 2 right now. They ran Pro 1 earlier. They're in the middle of round 2. They're raising the track right now, so we're getting ready. Hey, there's Mark Eckert walking across the track. You are live on NSDN at the moment.
Hey, I'm glad you're here, Tom.
That's right. We're glad Mark's here too. Mark offered to loan us some of his great photography for the weekend, and he's got a card here for me. Very cool.
Can you read a big card like that?
It's a big card.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we're real or not. You're gonna be here tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Well, I have a reader, multi-reader, so I'm gonna see if it'll work, and we'll go from there.
All right.
Works and not.
Yeah. If not, I'll just email you the file.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
See you tomorrow.
Big thank you to Mark Eckert here. He walked. There he is. He's signing off for the night. Mark graciously going to allow us to use some of his photos. He went around with his camera and did some great photography this afternoon. So, Super Dave's on the feed. Dave Stidham. Big shout out to Dave. I see Craig Durding's on there. Mike Irwin. Brother Swag's on there right now. So Sam Montgomery just joined. Very cool. The tractors are definitely earning their keep this weekend. They've gotten plenty of TV time here on NSDN, keeping the track raceable. Dave. Mike Smith ran... Actually, I think he's coming up. He won first round, and I believe he's in the next set that's going to go out. Yeah, Mike won first round, and he should be in the lanes pulling out this next set of cars. Here comes Kenny Hayes. He'll be on the lane nearest to you. And it almost looks like he's got a single this round. I would say he does. Well, Kenny's been laying down some consistent numbers. He's been running right around 348, 349 all weekend. And Kenny goes 349, right on what he's been running all weekend. 349 at 93 miles an hour. So Kenny will move on to round 3 of the Gambler. Up next, we have Mike Record over in the far lane, and the 390-60 over here in the near lane. I'm not quite sure this gentleman's name, but this car's been running strong all weekend. Look at Mike Record over there in the right lane. He was 018 on the tree. He went 421 for the win. Killed the tree. He has been on it all weekend. Next up, there he is, the quickest man on sand, Dennis Wright, with the Duner Jeep this weekend, up against Steve Wynn. Dennis Wright, twin turbocharged small block Jeep. This is his Dune Cruiser. He brought it out this weekend instead of a fuel car. Fortunately, Dennis had some problems there when he stepped on the throttle, so Steve Wynn's moving on to round 3. Next up is going to be Joe Simeone here in the lane nearest to us, and Chris Adamson, the bounty hunter. And he's backing up. If I've seen Chris back up once, I've seen him do it 100 times. He's got to make sure he's lined up in just the right spot. Adamson turning on the wind light. He had about 0.08 of a second advantage on the tree, but 060 and 422 at 71 miles an hour to move on to round 3 in the Gambler. Elmer, yes, Pedro ran in the final qualifying session for top alcohol. He ran a, where's he at here? 267. So 67 is what Pedro ran. He went a 63 earlier, I believe. He's number 3 qualifier going into eliminations tomorrow. So good to see Pedro and the Express team laying down some good numbers this weekend. Well, they should be right in the mix for eliminations tomorrow. Well, folks, we're gonna clean the track. Well, I think Mike Smith ran, gosh, I thought he won first round. Less than 1 second. Yeah, you know what? He just ran on the live feed when I first came on. I believe he won. I'm pretty sure Mike Smith is still in, guys. into round 2. I think Mike might have ran before you came on, Dave. I'm pretty sure Mike is still in, but it's been a long weekend, guys. Don't you guys know how it is? Long weekend and trying to keep everything straight. Right on, Sam. Trying to do the best we can here. We had a late night last night and a pretty late night tonight. Lots of racing, lots of cars here this weekend. A good group out of New Mexico came with 5 cars. Quite a few of the Oregon Northwest crew showed up. A lot of the local guys that we would count on to run here. They are here. So really good turnout. I'm running out of things to say at the moment, but big thank you to all the folks that made the coverage happen this weekend. Thank you to the Morris Family Racing crew, as well as Rialto Trophy, our presenting sponsors this weekend, as well as all the fine folks that chipped in, our racer friends that support NSDN and wanted us to be here. Thank you guys. You guys are the best. We are cleaning the track up at the moment for, I believe we're going to be Motorcycle Pro or Motorcycle Gambler round 2. I always throw in Pro Gambler, but actually the motorcycle, the ATV Gambler is on a sport tree, so I don't want to misspeak on that. The old case definitely gets some TV time here. I hear him starting up over there. It looks to me like this is going to be Mark Ratliff in the car lane, and that's old JW. Mark Ratliff. We had him on the tree, and he goes 460. He had about 300 starting line and managed and carried it down for the win. Next up, one of the Marchant light, Bakersfield area. I get to show you riding it tonight. Good swings ride. Please. Caleb over there on it, but I'm not sure. Tough break for the Mings team there. He had 0.3 of a second on the tree and either missed a shift or had some sort of a shifting issue down there. So Christy Garner is coming up in the far lane. Christy Garnis takes the win. She absolutely knocked the tree down. 038. She went 426 for the win. Yeah, she had a pretty sizable advantage right off the line and held it right on through the stripe. Let me check out what's going on here. Good to see some Northwest friends on here. Donald Huff, yes, Donna Huff, hanging loose. Yeah, she went out first round in the gambler tonight. She had the guy in the tree, and I don't know, something happened down check. I don't know if it didn't shift or something didn't run the number, but always great to see Donna and John Huff down here at the races, making the long haul from the Northwest to come down and see family and go racing. So great to see the Huff crew out here. I'm sure Donna will be racing tomorrow in Pro 3 with the old hanging loose Jeep. So if I'm recalling correctly, that puts us at 3 left in the motorcycle gambler. And then we should have 8 left in the car gambler. And the tractors are moving. Or one of them at least. So I see Pro Gambler is loading into the lanes for the quarterfinal round. Should be at 8 cars right now. Looks like we're loading the 8 cars left in the lanes. I don't see Mike Smith in here, so he must have went out last round. I just didn't remember it. I know he won first round, but well, this is where the going gets good. Down to 8. First round, we had a classic battle between Chris Adamson and Charlie Johnson. Talk about that draw. Those two lined up, and Charlie went 0-12 red, threw it away on the starting line. So tough break for Charlie. He's not had luck on his side this weekend. Unfortunately, we'll see what he can do tomorrow in Pro 2 and Pro 3. Chris was 080 on the tree and had to puddle and got the win. Could be Chris's night tonight. A lot of good racers still in it. Big purse on the line, that's for sure. I believe it's 50% payback and the winner takes all of that. So that should put it at $1,600 if I'm doing my math correctly. am getting pretty chilly out here tonight, guys. I gotta admit, even though I'm from Michigan, it is getting pretty frigid out here. It's got to be in the 50s. I had to go run and get a fleece a little while ago to try to stay warm here. A little bit of a wind, a little bit of a dampness in the air. Everybody's been running some good numbers. So, okay, you guys are in for a treat if you're here. Kevin Williams. Yeah, Kevin Williams on the far side. He's against Brady Menzenberg. Northwest Dragster. These guys are from up in the Oregon, Washington area. This foul block absolutely screams. Dialed in at 324 with a small block, single carburetor, and no 90%. And your win light, Brady Menzenberg, 327 on the 24 dial, 100 miles an hour. He had about 300 starting line advantage. He moves down to the final four. Another of the Northwest hitters, the invasion of the Northwest guys. It's Chris Wells. In the near lane, against Dan Deere driving Dave up. Comment area basically. You heard Chris Wampa down there. He took the win. He had 400s on the tree. He went 396 for the win. Right on what he's been running all weekend. Now we've got Mike Record coming up from the far lane. There he is, Kenny Hayes, Buckeye, Arizona. Kenny Hayes pulled off the magic trick. He was 400s behind on the tree, and he was able to run closer to his dial, 350 at 87 miles an hour. Kenny Hayes is going to 4. In your final pair in the quarterfinal round, it's Steve Wynn in the Black Jeep Bill Meany ride up against Chris Adams in the Bounty Hunter. Going to the semis. Not very good lights on either side of the track, but Chris had 200s advantage and he held it out the end. He went 423. Right around what he's been running all week, and I'm not sure what he's dialed in, but it's got to be somewhere right around 420. So your semifinals should be Brady Menzenberg versus Chris Wells and Kenny Hayes versus Chris Adamson. 4 very good racers. It should be an exceptional end to the evening, late evening. Tractor race is going on here. Fastest ATV pass so far. I've seen I'm gonna say there was a 375 3:45, somewhere in that ballpark. I'm not exactly sure who ran it. It was a bike that I think it was out of the Marchant camp, the Kyle Marchant's crew. I'm not sure who was riding it. I believe that's where the bike came from. I'm thinking somewhere in the high 70s, something like that. There was a few bikes that were running 80s earlier, pre-80s. Mike Brock has been trying to run his bike. He ran 3:49 with it in Bakersfield and was struggling a little bit earlier with it. I think he's actually still in the Gambler, possibly. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It could be Taylor on it. Taylor usually rides one of the bikes. Kyle had several bikes here this weekend, so yeah, we were moving out this weekend. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, there was in Motorcycle Sport 1, the Sport 1 ATV deal, there was, I believe, 14 entries in it, and several bikes I've never seen before. Yeah, Sonny ran some good numbers too. I can't remember exactly. Yeah, Sonny won the Gambler last night here. So, here we go. It's going to be Mark Ratliff. This is the semis for semifinals in the Motorcycle Gambler. It's going to be Mark Ratliff and I think this is Chris Carlson actually on one of the rock lay down three-wheelers. Chris went 75 earlier. I know that for a fact. Chris Carlson went 375 on this bike. Guys, but Chris did a nice job. He went 387 and got around Mark Ratliff on the other end. Like some stage foul action over here on the left side, unfortunately, and Christy Garnis, she had a good light, 026 I believe, she went 461. So Christy Garnis and Chris Carlson will be the final in the Motorcycle Gambler. Yeah, the bike that Mike ran 349 with, he ran it here tonight trying to see if he could go quicker, and he struggled the first two passes, and he changed tires, and I missed the next run. I'm not exactly sure what he ran. I actually think he was going to try to run right now. No, never mind, that's Chris over there. No, he was trying to see if he could run quicker, and I think he may run it tomorrow to see if he can better that 349. Jeff Adamson on the feed. Yes, Chris is still in. It'll be Chris and Kenny coming up very shortly here. I see the guys are in their cars. There they go. So your first pair up, one half of the final will be Chris Wells over on the far side, and Brady Menzenberg here in the near lane. Anticlimactic. Both guys staged. Both of them looked like they were in extremely deep, and something weird happened with the tree, so I don't know. Yeah, this car in the near lane has been 309 in Albany, Oregon. They've been running, he's dialed 324 here tonight. Sid Payne is on the feed watching us. Shout out to Sid. Our buddy Sid. We hope to see you soon, bud. So here we are, semifinals in the Pro Gambler, and we are firing them up. Here we go. Brady went 320, 320, 101 miles an hour for the breakout over here in the near lane. So that car absolutely screams unbelievable. Far lane, Chris Adamson. Near lane, Kenny Hayes. This is going to be quite a battle. Chris is backing up again. Here we go. I said it earlier. Chris always wants to make sure that he's got the right spot on the track. See him back up quite often. He gets lined up correctly. Big Sid, we hope to see you, bud. I hear you got a new toy to play with, so looking forward to seeing that hit the track. And it's Kenny Hayes going to the finals. He was 075, 093 for Chris. Your win light, Kenny Hayes, 351 at 86 miles. He was off of it down there on the other end. Chris went at 22. He was right on the dial, so most likely it was all on the tree, all on reaction time. So all we have left is the motorcycle final and the Pro Gambler final. Yeah, you're right, Dave. He definitely, the car's been laying over just a little bit for Brady there. When it gets down check, it's either right off the line or just down check. You hear it kind of have a weird, it misses just a little bit or something, weird deal. And that pass, it was clean and it went 320. They came down here hoping to run somewhere in the teens, maybe 20 flat, and that's what they're in. So there's Mike Smith. Mike Smith on the feed. We were wondering how you did, and the guy behind the camera had some brain fade, and we thought you were still in, bud, but you did good tonight. So, to recap where we're at, we are at the final rounds for both gamblers, the car gambler and the bike gambler. We've got Chris Carlson and Christy Garnis on the bike side. We've got Kenny Hayes and Chris Wells on the car side. Looks like the bike guys are ready. Kenny and Chris usually can make a quick turnaround, so we're gonna wrap this thing up here pretty quick tonight, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight for the National Sandbag News late night live stream from the Soboba Casino, Jacinto, California. Junior Alamut is on the live feed. We're missing you. We kind of weird with Junior not being here this weekend. Our flying Hawaiian buddy, Junior Kenny, is in the finals against Chris Wells coming up here in just a moment. When he was 0-20 on the tree, went 4 flat for the win. He was 0-20, Christy was 0-88. She went 4-38, not sure what the dials were, but Chris Carlson is your winner in the motorcycle gambler tonight. And here comes the car final, pro gambler. Big money on the line right here. Chris Wells in the all concrete small block Chevy drag, or buggy, not drag, it's a buggy. Oh, we got Kenny Hayes. Wumping it down there. He had him on the tree. 045 to a 117. That's very uncharacteristically late for Chris. So Kenny Hayes is your winner tonight in the pro gambler class. I'm signing off for tonight, guys. We'll be back tomorrow for more Sandbag racing here at National Sandbag News. Thanks, guys.